Good afternoon. I've come from Richmond to express our great sorrow and grief on behalf of the 8 million fellow citizens of Virginia, and to celebrate the incredible 39 years of life of Officer Derek Kraus. Tina, you've lost a husband. Mr. and Mrs. Kraus, you've lost a son. And Dustin, I know you've lost your dad. And Darius, you've lost your brother. And to Logan and Hayden and Tyler and Peyton, you've lost incredibly loving stepfather. And we're here this afternoon to be able to grieve with you, but at the same time, to celebrate an incredible life well lived that so many of us can emulate and be thankful for. I've come this afternoon with our Attorney General, Ken Cuccinelli, and my Chief of Staff, Martin Kent, and our Secretary of Public Safety, Marla Decker, and Secretary of Education, Laura Fornash, and many others from Richmond, because from the moment we heard the news on Thursday, our hearts were gripped by the sadness and yet emboldened by what heroes will do for the cause of freedom and justice. And like so many things that seem to happen in this world today, there are acts of violence and acts of hatred that we can never fully explain. And after the incredible police work of Chief Flincham and the Virginia State Police and so many others, there will be some answers. But yet, when everything is said and done, there may not be all the answers that the family would want. But as I reflected on the life of Derek Kraus, it was evident to me that there are some things that we absolutely know for sure. We know of the incredible love and resilience and courage of the Virginia Tech community. On Friday night, rather than curse the darkness, 10,000 of you got together on the drill field to light a candle and speak words of life and courage and to celebrate what Derek Kraus stood for in our state, in our nation. You prayed, you persevered through exams, you started a scholarship fund, you did all those great things that Hokies do, and I salute you. What we also know for sure is that Derek Kraus loved doing what he was doing. He was a lifelong public servant. For the last 4 years, he went to work here protecting the citizens of the state and the students and faculty and the administration of Virginia Tech, swearing the oath to the Constitution, strapping on his gun, putting on his badge, and doing what police officers do. And it's a phenomenal thing, and I salute all of the men and women in uniform of every color that is here today, because it is an amazing thing that a police officer does, or a sheriff, or a law enforcement officer. Be truly willing to do what the scriptures say is no greater love, and that is to lay down one's life for one's friends. That's what law enforcement officers are willing to do. But it was not the first time he had done that. Tina, you were with him when he shipped off to Iraq. And so from the sands of Iraq to the rolling hills of Blacksburg, Derek Kraus was a public servant, a warrior, a police officer, and yes, a great father, husband, son, brother, stepfather, friend, and fellow law enforcement officer. What we also know for sure is why Tina and her family loved Derek so much. He loved his family. He was thrilled at having 5 young boys that he would raise. He loved to ride that motorcycle, Dustin, with you, didn't he? He was thrilled to take you to the concert, the first concert you went to, with the band that he loved the most, Metallica. He loved to watch those Pittsburgh Steelers games with you and play some Pittsburgh Steelers video games because he was full of life. And when he wasn't defending those students and faculty at Virginia Tech, he was loving life and loving life with his beloved Tina and with his 5 sons. What we also know for sure is why the SWAT team and Chief Lynch and why all of your fellow officers considered him a consummate professional and a great fellow officer. He was quiet. He was absolutely professional. He was incredibly well trained. He was an instructor for others. He relished the dangerous missions. And yes, I understand he was a little bit of a prankster, loving to try to get the best of his fellow SWAT team officer, only to break the tension of the intense and incredibly difficult work that police officers are called to do. And so while this tragedy is one that has shocked this community and, again, shocked our state, I've come to tell you that Derek's incredible bravery and sacrifice will not go forgotten in the calls in Richmond or in Congress or throughout our state. Yesterday, we flew a flag over the state capitol in Derek's honor that I gave to Tina. Today, all the flags at the state capitol are at half-mast in honor of Derek Wayne Krause. It's incredibly important that those of us that are left behind to grieve and to mourn and ask the questions why, that we never forget the face of bravery in the family that must grieve, that we love and encourage and support and thank our law enforcement officers and their family for what they do. For greater love hath no man than this, than to lay down one's life for their friends. These are the officers that give life and breadth and reality to the Constitution and to that Declaration of Independence written 235 years ago. Without these sacrifices that Derek was willing to make, they are idle words on parchment, and our freedoms are shallow. So thank you to the Krause family for this amazing sacrifice of love that you have given to your fellow 8 million Virginians. For our part, we in Virginia will never forget. Ladies and gentlemen, the Crouch family asked me to read something to you that Derek's brother Darius wrote. And it is something that speaks for the family, and I'm incredibly honored that they've asked me to read this, to summarize some of the amazing 39 years of Derek Krause. May the good Lord be with you down every road you roam. And may sunshine and happiness surround you when you're far from home. May you grow to be proud, dignified, and true. And may you do unto others as you'd have them done to you. Be courageous and brave, and in my heart you'll always stay forever young. Derek Wayne Krause lived and gave his life to help those in need. He braved some of the harshest climates in the world for 18 months during his tour in the Middle East to ensure that his family and nation could sleep safely at night. When not protecting the country, he served his community by stepping up to the thin blue line. Outside of serving his community as the officer of the law, Derek was an avid athlete. His love with sports began at an early age when he fell in love with baseball. During that time, he won numerous MVP awards and was consistently an all-star player. In his late teens, he even received an invitation and tried out for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The city of Pittsburgh always held a special place in his heart. And as far as the NFL was concerned, it was the Steelers or nothing. Derek had an amazing sense of humor and a wit that could cut diamonds. He never failed to bring a smile to the faces of his family and friends. Simply put, you couldn't not love him. Derek loved his family. The birth of his son, Dustin Krause, was a milestone in his life that permanently changed him into the mature, gifted hero that we all know him to be. He learned that the greatest gift given was putting the needs of others before his own. Derek adored his son with passion and strength of immeasurable extent. He also loved and did well by his mother, his brother, his wife, and his stepsons, providing a wonderful influence on them all. The evening Derek's life was so senselessly taken, the sunset burned crimson red across the sky as it faded behind the Virginia Tech campus. However, on the following night, when thousands gathered on the drill field for the vigil in his honor, a halo could be seen surrounding the pale moon. Even the heavens lit a candle for him. So many things can be said about Officer Krause. Amazing father, husband, brother, and son. But in summation of such a wonderful, warm-hearted champion's life, one line says it best. Heroes are remembered, but legends never die.